know you could be doing a lot of things with your time, so thank you for deciding to join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, coming to you from the studios that they provide for us, which are second to none. And boy, it's a sad day because I have to talk about losing a person that was second to none. This guy, one of one. Unfortunately, Dick Jauron passed away February 8th. It was a gut punch. I mean, it was absolutely shocking. There's no other way to put it. Saddened. Dick Jauron was an unbelievable athlete. I remember playing against him in high school. Both of us are from the Massachusetts, North Shore of Massachusetts, in that area. I'm from Wakefield. He's from Swampscott. And Dick Jauron was the greatest athlete of my time, of really any time in the state of Massachusetts. I mean, he's one of the, Harry Aganis, I guess, would be one. But then, in his era, he was it. Dick Jauron was the greatest athlete in the state of Massachusetts. Football, basketball, baseball. He was all state in all of them. He was an incredible running back. He was a machine. The guy that I liken Dick Jauron to is John Havlicek with the Boston Celtics. John Havlicek, you could not fatigue him. He had a motor that would run at a high level and he'd never get fatigued. That was Dick Jauron. He played 3 years of varsity football and just dominated. I had a scrimmage against him when I was a sophomore at Wakefield. He was a senior at Swampscott. He comes to our high school, had to rush for at least 200 yards. I mean, he was at another level. I mean, there was everybody, and then there was Dick Jauron playing. And he led his team to, state championships. Then he more than one. And then he goes to the basketball season. And up and down the court he goes, sprinting up and down the court, never a bead of sweat. It's like, this guy is not human. It's truly amazing. When Dick was in high school during baseball, he was an all-state baseball player, and they won championships as well. All of his teams won championships. He was the best player. Red Sox wanted him to play baseball. Well, he wanted to play football in college. So he goes to Yale. He could have gone anywhere. He goes to Yale because he wants to get an education. And he plays 3 years of varsity football. Freshman could not play, and he rushed for almost 3,000 yards. And he broke Calvin Hill's rushing records. He was the all-time leading rusher at Yale for many years. I don't think his record was broken until the 2020s. Dick was playing in the 70s. So it's incredible what he did as a football player. But then he also played basketball, 3 years of basketball at Yale. And then he played baseball at Yale as well. So, I mean, at Yale, he got drafted by the Detroit Lions in the 4th round, and he got drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in baseball. I mean, such a high-level performer in all 3 sports for such a long period of time. The most well-conditioned, eye-hand coordinated, spectacular athlete that I've ever seen at the high school level and at the collegiate level. And he played 5 years of football with the Detroit Lions and 3 years with the Cincinnati Bengals and 8 years in the National Football League. When I got to play with Dick Jauron, I felt like I was meeting and playing with my hero, my icon. I mean, it was like, I can't believe it. I'm actually on the same football field finally as Dick Jauron. I'm on the same team. I'm not on an opposing team of Dick Jauron. He made the Pro Bowl with the Detroit Lions in 1974. They converted him to safety. I think he had 5 interceptions in the first year that he played the safety position. While he was at Yale, how about this nugget? He had 16 straight 100-yard rushing games at Yale. That record was broken in the 2020s, I think, as well. It took a long time to do that. He was, first team all conference, all American. In high school, he was, parade all American. Every honor that you could get, Dick Jauron got. So I'm thinking, man, when I really get to know this guy, he's going to be a really stuck up, conceited, really stuffy. Just the opposite. I mean, you're not going to meet a better human being than Dick Jauron. He was incredible, humble. All he did was care about others. I mean, all he did was give. He was not a taker. He didn't take anything. He gave everything. And that's what he was all about his whole life. And really, the biggest thing I'm going to remember about Dick Jauron is, he got into coaching, obviously, and he had success there as well. So as a player at all three levels, and then his dad was an iconic high school football coach in Massachusetts, and Dick Jauron obviously felt like he wanted to coach. That was kind of his calling. Well, all he did was win Coach of the Year in the National Football League when, with the Chicago Bears, his team goes 13-3. It's pretty impressive. I mean, 13-3. Dick Jauron was an interim head coach for the Detroit Lions, head coach for the Chicago Bears. He went 13-3 one year with the Chicago Bears. He went 8-0 in games decided by 7 points or less that season with the Bears. And he also was a head coach for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, his life was playing and coaching football. But that wasn't the biggest thing in his life. And the thing that I will remember most about Dick Jauron is he put football aside to take care of his wife, Gail, who fell to Alzheimer's and was just having a tough time. And what he did was he gave up everything from a football standpoint for family. Dick Jauron was all about family, football, and friends in that order. And he basically, for 20 years, 24/7 caretaker to Gail. Incredible. I mean, became his entire life. And who does that kind of thing? Who says, no, you're not going anywhere but your house. I'm not going to put you in a home somewhere. I'm taking care of you. He loved everything about football, but didn't come close to his love for family. And to me, that says everything you need to know about Dick Jauron. I mean, he got into coaching. He decided to get into coaching. It started in 1980 with the Cincinnati Bengals. He's returning a punt, great punt returner. He made the Pro Bowl basically as a punt and kickoff returner as well as playing safety. But he was extraordinary because he was such a great running back. He's returning a punt for us, and it looks like he's going to go all the way. He cuts, non-contact injury, down he goes with a knee injury. It was during the 1980 season. Well, he had surgery and missed the 1981 season, the Super Bowl 16 season. What does he do? He says, you know what, Dick LeBeau, Hank Buller, I'd like to try to help as a coach, help you guys. Let me do something. So he became kind of a player coach. I mean, they had him up in the booth with the coaches, getting feedback, what he saw on the football field and what he thought needed to do to remedy problems that might occur on the football field. I mean, his input on the game of football was invaluable because the dude, brilliant, not just brilliant football IQ, brilliant, but a brilliant guy. I mean, Ivy League educated guy. So you look at somebody that is such a talented individual as Dick Jauron, both physically and mentally. For him to go at the age of 74 years old to brain cancer, he didn't know he had a tumor. And obviously the brain tumor was blocking pain signals to his body because come to find out, he's starting to have some memory issues, and he went to the doctor to take a look and see what was going on, and they find the brain tumor, and then, the cancer is everywhere. In his liver, in his kidneys, in his lungs, metastasized to his bones. It was everywhere. And unfortunately, 10 days later, after they diagnosed it, on February 8th, Dick Jauron passed away. I'm sure he's already made a ton of friends, a ton of new friends. That's just who he is and what he's all about. And, when I think about Dick Jauron, I think such an accomplished man from a football standpoint, sports in general. Like I said, he was great in all sports. He probably would have been a great Major League Baseball player. This guy could have done anything, but football was his passion. Great player, great coach. But as an individual, as a human being, none better. Unbelievable leader, unbelievable morals, unbelievable ethics. I mean, it's almost like the perfect human being. That's the Dick Jauron I'll always remember. And the thing I most admire him for is how important his family was to him through it all. Dick Jauron, rest in peace. You more than deserve it. Dave Lapham here. While games are over for the season, there's no off-season for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham or First Star Logistics. First Star Logistics gave away great prizes during the season, which will continue with exclusive content in the First Star Media Group YouTube channel. So please, do me a favor. Subscribe to In the Trenches, hit the like button, and visit the First Star Media Group YouTube channel for exclusive content and special giveaways.